There was a marking event this week. Not a racing event, neither joyous nor sad, simply moving. A skipper lugging his past as he crosses the Cape Horn. There it is, the Cape Horn. This is a moment, a real moment for me. We have the feeling Jean's been thinking this up, as if impatience quarreled with apprehension. The nearer we were getting, the more he spoke about it. Exceptional colors. At the break of day. And we're 2.5 days before the Cape Horn. I hope this will be the last impression of the South. 730 miles from the Cape. So 2 days from now, we turn left. Now we have 35 knots. We had a 40 knot swat a little while ago. I don't know if you can really see what's going on. This is what rough looks like. We're January 6th on board Sinerciel. For you, this date may not mean anything in particular. But for me, well, I capsized with VM Matériaux, and Vincent came to my rescue 4 years ago in zones similar to the ones we're in now. So this is a moment of history, shall I say. I hope I'll pass the Cape Horn in better conditions this time. And on Tuesday, January 8th, he's finally there, and all is perfect. There, this one wasn't snatched, I shall say. So in 1982, I passed the Cape Horn with Eric Tabarly on board Euromarché. In 2004, I was with Bonduel. And in 2008, I passed it again, but this time with Vincent on PRB because VM Matériaux had sadly capsized. And now, in 2013, I'm on board Sinerciel. And I can tell you, I'm happy. There were times that didn't mean as much, but this time, it's great. Feels good. There. It's a place full of history. You get the feeling when passing the Cape Horn, as Jean was saying earlier, that it's all over. In fact, it's far from it. The Atlantic is huge. It's long. It's a wave across. I can tell you the conditions we've had since passing the Cape Horn aren't easy. Last videos I sent was fun, sun, and very little wind. I was under the impression some thought it was over. So, change of scenery. Today, 45 knots, 20 feet high waves, and it's crashing in from all sides. Impressive, wouldn't you say? I don't know what it looks like on camera, but believe me, it's heavy duty. I've very rarely been through such days at sea. For the trio in the lead, conditions are harsh in this beginning of the Atlantic's ascent. But the one who suffered the most is Jean-Pierre Dick. As he's about to catch up on the two leading, his furling stay breaks. He comes close to dismasting and has to give up a good number of miles. At this very moment, the race has taken on a new strategical dimension. François Gabard and Armel Leclerc, always very near to each other, make different choices. François heads east, Armel more in the center of the waters. Yes, I chose this. Why? Well, because I think the situation's complex, and I didn't wish to take position on one side or on another and block myself on the strategy. Being more in the center of the course, well, this gives me more choices. Next, we'll see. We see Armel has chosen not to choose. It's François Gabard who's widening the gap, a gap between the two men we hadn't seen in weeks, 100 miles at this time of the race. We also see this maestria is highly considered by the whole sailing world. We see he's got all the schemes of what's already happened. He's very lucid about all, about the importance of the gap he's making with Ahmed that's never been so wide. He knows he's in a good position, being more at east, that the gap will keep widening. He's in a strong position, in a spiral where everything works better and better. The more he goes, the more confidence he'll gain. Far from strategic mental tactic considerations on the race's lead, there are all the others still in the Pacific Ocean that's not so peaceful as we already knew. If you wanted more proof, here's some. We're speeding! 23 knots! 24! Gotta be careful. So, we're careful. I have the main sheet here. So, if I notice the helm shifts too much towards the left, I ease right off to avoid the boat from keeling over. Today's Tuesday morning, and I think I'm going to have to go out, that there are bad news awaiting me. The halyard must have busted, and the reacher is behind us. This is real bad news, because it's the best sail for the Great South. I'll see what can be done to get it back on board. It's going to have to be meter after meter. It's tied up along the boat with rope bands. It's hard to fish out such a sail. Half of the sail is on the boat. I'm going at it by the front. The halyard was split somewhere up there. I've been up since 2.5 hours. Situation is under control. I took 3 reefs on the mainsail, and forward I used the staysail so we can sail on. So you understand why the Cape Horn is so joyful, from the perspective of a more peaceful navigation, even if sometimes it's more a wish than the immediate reality. It's the only way to see the Cape Horn. The spots on the left of the radar we see here. They're really very close. I can tell you that this brings a sort of extraordinary warmth to be accompanied by such gods of the sea. This week, 6 have passed the famous Cape. Hello, everyone. I'm at the Cape Horn, and it feels good. Six, among whom Bernard Stam, who after the pass sheltered in a bay to resupply with fuel. Help that ends the argument about his disqualification and puts him out of the race. But for the Swiss to do that, there must have been no other way. Once off again, he tells us about the last 5 days without any power. 5 long days, it seems. Sailing was becoming risky. So I tried navigating after having turned off all my equipment. And then I slept. For how long? I don't know. During the 5 days? 6, 7 hours maybe? We'll end with the Cape Horn tales. But there's one thing though. Passing it is like a renaissance, the end of a liquid desert coming back to life. I don't tire from it. Here. Look at this little bird. It's excellent. Here are the States Islands with snow on the top. Isn't that something? Isn't that beautiful? Aren't we well set here? In the videos they send, the skippers are all enthusiastic. The smell of earth, fauna, all evokes ecstasy. Isn't that right, Mr. Le Cap, who's off the Falkland Islands? Welcome into the Atlantic. Weather's good, and it's really nice here. Look, birds heaping up. They're taking off. It's magnificent. Magnificent. It's gorgeous. See how exceptional this is? Oh, it's beautiful. There are seals in the water. Look, there are lots of seals in the water. Oh, that one I find particularly pretty. I'm going to try to zoom in. There. She's pure, simple, and so beautiful. Isn't that right, girls? Pure, simple, beautiful. Upon passing the Falkland Islands at the end of the week, Jean-Luc the Flirt is fifth, far from the great maneuvers taking place at the lead, where things do happen. Already, Jean-Pierre Dick has given up his third place to Alex Thompson's benefit, who choose the all-west option, picking up the best of wins, but for how long? Here is a nice progression for Alex, who's passed behind the depression and is running downwind. So far, it's a great option, which gets the game going again. I love fighting, as is required here.
True position, me versus Vendee, you know, in a day or so. But, you know, the routing, if you run the route from his position and my position, it's quite generous to me, I think. The models don't really take into account me having to cross this area of not a lot of wind. You know, the things I'm doing 15 knots right now when actually I'm doing 0.
In the lead, François Gabard maneuvered sooner than Armel, 7 hours exactly, and he's widening the gap. So, as you already expect, right before turning on the camera, he's got his famous smile painted onto the ears. There, we're on starboard tack, heading north. We'll be nearing the equator. There's a little squall, which gives this beautiful light. We're on the wind, a little open, going well, about 15 to 20 knots. We're heading almost full north. It's quite good. We're in the right direction. All right, we'll talk later. Ciao. Friday noon, François is almost 160 miles ahead of Armel Lecléache. Not much to a Vendee Globe scale, but it's starting to count for their duel. A duel that's far from ending. Must we remind you that Armel's nickname is Jackal? Jackal is known to be persistent. We don't give in on anything for a start. Les Sables d'Olonne, we'll get to. But there's quite a way still, so nothing's set yet. Ciao, ciao.